Hi, I'm Crissy Mcwilliams with the D&K Group. We're here today to talk about insurance. I got my buddy Matt Carney over here. He's with 360 Insurance, and he's going to give us some tips and tricks and kind of explain some things that are going on in the industry and what's happening in today's world of insurance. So Matt, let's talk about first.
Let's do it.
One of the biggest hot topics that real estate agents are seeing today is flood insurance, the no-no.
Flood insurance.
We don't like flood.
We don't like it. We're getting to that time of year.
We are.
It's starting to heat up out there. Flood insurance is becoming a topic of conversation in the industry, and it's a big deal for you guys in the real estate agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Our buyers are really seeing kind of the hit with flood. So let's explain to people what flood insurance is.
Okay, so at 360 Insurance, what we like to do is a little process. We do the 3 whats, right? It sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. The 3 whats.
The 3 whats.
What is flood?
Okay.
What is my risk as a homeowner?
Okay.
And what are my options as a homeowner? Once you know those 3 items, you can really have a good conversation with your insurance agent, your realtor, about how you want to proceed with tackling the flood process here in Florida. So let's start with what is
First
flood?
W. Okay.
Right. What is flood? FEMA describes flood as a temporary inundation of water on normally dry land.
Okay.
So you got to have at least 2 properties or 2 parcels.
Okay.
And it's got to be something that's normally dry, right? So if you want to put in a flood claim, if there's water coming into your house, then there needs to be water coming into your neighbor's house in order for it to be a flood. Otherwise, it's probably just a water claim, and you're not going to get coverage from FEMA under your flood program.
Okay, very good. Next,
what is my risk as a homeowner?
Yeah.
So in order to determine risk as a homeowner in Florida, the easiest thing to do is talk to your agent about a flood certification report.
Okay. Tell us about
Most of the time, your insurance agent can run a report online. Flood certification report within a couple of minutes.
Okay.
You'll know what zone you're in. Okay, and that's important here in Florida because the zone that you're in as a homeowner is what's going to determine your rates on your flood policy.
Okay.
So
there are multiple zones here in Florida.
there's multiple zones. The most common that you guys run into and I run into here in Pinellas is you're going to be in an A zone.
Yes. Okay.
Or you're going to be in a V zone. And A is basically accumulation, meaning there's water that's rising up. So you're in maybe a low sitting area, something that's more common to have water rising after a heavy rain or storm surge.
Okay.
V is going to be a velocity area. It means you might be on the coast, you're on the beaches, you're somewhere like that where, with high winds, you're going to potentially experience some flooding. Okay. And then the third flood zone here that we run into is an X zone.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Okay, so A and V are going to be your standard flood zones. It's important to know that everybody in Florida, regardless of what your insurance agent tells you, everybody in Florida is in a flood zone, right?
Okay.
We're surrounded by water, and you're going to be either an A zone, a V zone, or an X zone. X zone means you're just in a low risk zone. I hear people all the time say, I don't need flood insurance.
I hear it every day. I don't need it.
I don't need it. I'm in an X zone. I don't need flood insurance. And that's unfortunately putting out a lot of misinformation.
Right.
Hurricane Harvey back in 2017, I believe it was $125 billion in flood losses. $125 billion.
That's a lot.
Out of that $125 billion, 82% of those people were told that they were in a low risk flood zone and didn't need flood insurance.
Yeah.
So in Florida, with the way weather's changing, the way the climate's changing, it's important to know what your flood options are, and then you can make a decision if you need flood insurance or not. I tell people being in an X flood zone is similar to our helmet laws for motorcycle riders here in Florida, right? Mm-hmm. The state doesn't say that you have to have it, it's an option. But if you choose to ride without a helmet, you certainly aren't eliminating your risk of an accident or of any injury. And if you're in an X zone without flood insurance, you are certainly not eliminating your risk of potentially having flooding. Mm-hmm. It just means you're in a lower risk. And if you choose to purchase flood insurance, it will probably be much more affordable.
Much more affordable.
Okay.
All right, so then the next thing, let's talk about what's going on with Flood 2.0 really quick.
Flood 2.0, the elephant in the room, right?
Yes,
so Flood 2.0 is part of the NFIP program. It rolled out in October of 2021 as the first phase. And basically the first phase of Flood 2.0 said any new policies issued under that federal program from October 31st moving forward are now going to be re-rated under Flood 2.0. So they're doing away with the requirement for elevation certificates. They're doing away with a lot of the old school way. They've got new algorithms that are determining your flood risk based on your actual address, where you live, your
Proximity,
property,
right?
whole bunch of new data they're putting in there. So phase 1 was October of 2021, and phase 2 just went into effect
Just
April.
happened, right?
Just
Exactly.
happened.
Okay.
And so basically phase 2 means everybody from now moving forward, if you're buying a new flood policy, you're going to be rated
You're gonna
under
be rated
flood
up.
2.0.
Okay.
Which unfortunately for a lot of people means a big increase.
Exactly.
Right?
Which is what we're seeing. What buyers are seeing.
Big
Going
increases.
from-
Flood 2.0, if you had cheaper insurance in the past, you probably might get a decrease. And if you had more expensive insurance, you're probably going to get an increase. And that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
Okay.
So,
And here's what you guys can do. Call Matt. He can explain everything in regards to flood. Honestly, he's very knowledgeable in this. So Matt, I think you gave us a great overview of what flood insurance is. So for those of you who have questions, please reach out to Matt. We're going to leave his information here at the bottom of the video, and you can call him and ask him any questions that you might have regarding flood. So until next time, I think we're going to tackle homeowners.
let's
come on
wrap it
back,
up, and
everybody,
we'll be
and-
back to talk about some homeowners
we'll be back
issues.
to talk about homeowners.
Thank you.
Thanks.